How's it going, guys? It's Amiibo Jason here, and I am here with the NES Classic Edition, the NES Mini as it's also called. I've been waiting for this thing for quite some time, and I know what you're thinking. Why are you guys doing an unboxing of this? There's 100 of those on YouTube already. I wanted to show you guys some comparisons of this unit compared to the original boxes that came out, compared to some of the original hardware that came out, and then we can kind of go from there. But I am incredibly excited about this thing, and the first thing I want to do is give you guys kind of a comparison between the first big box that came out, and that was the Nintendo NES Deluxe set, and that is this big boy right here with Rob the Robot. Yes, I know this doesn't come with Rob the Robot. I completely get that, so this box is going to be a little bit bigger in comparison, but still, look at the size difference between these things. It's absolutely insane how far we've come in about 20-some years. Actually, a little bit more like 30-some years at this point. But it's incredibly exciting to see these two side by side. So I'm going to put this bad boy right down here for the time being, and we're going to get this thing open. We're going to get the console out, and we're going to compare it to the original. And we're also going to compare it to the Rob the Robot Amiibo that we have to see if it's right about the same size as the old one with the Rob the Robot. So let's get started. A few cool details I'd like to point out. When you open it up, right here on the flap it says, "Now you're playing with power," one of Nintendo's classic slogans from the late 80s. As a kid of the 80s and the early 90s, that's cool for me. Some of you younger kids might not think it's as cool, but let me tell you, it is cool. It's super cool. Alright, let's see what we have here. Put the box off to the side here real quick. We do have the instruction manual. One of my favorite things that came with this, it looks like it's a poster. I wasn't expecting a poster initially. I've seen a few unboxings already, so it's not like this is a total surprise to me. But look at this really cool poster. This is something that really doesn't come with a lot of things nowadays. I was actually mentioning this before. A lot of games just don't come with manuals anymore, and that's kind of a bummer. On the other side, we have how you hook the thing up. It's pretty simple for the most part. We'll give you guys a better look at that once we get into the hardware itself. French instructions, and I'm going to cover this up here, even though I'll probably have it redeemed by the time you see this anyway. There are My Nintendo points in here, so I'll be a little bit sneakier with it here. My Nintendo reward points right here, really cool. This is incredibly reminiscent of Club Nintendo. Most games and hardware consoles had Club Nintendo points, so it's cool to see this. I think that's a good sign of things to come. When the Switch comes out, we're probably going to get some with that too. Next up, we have the console itself. It's itty, it's bitty, it's absolutely amazing. It's so cute, but there it is. It's incredibly tiny. For scale, here we go. The original NES. It doesn't even take up a quarter of it. Obviously, the profile is even a little bit more crazy if you kind of think about it. 30 games bundled on this thing. On the back we have our DC in, which is just a standard USB micro port, and HDMI out for video. Very cool, very standard. Obviously this doesn't flip open, which is kind of a bummer, but the power button does click in, and I would assume, and we're going to find out here in a moment, that the little red LED indicator comes on, so I can't imagine why it wouldn't. And then the reset button, which is actually a physical push-in button. It's a little bit different than the old reset button that was on this thing. Obviously, technology has gotten a little bit better. So we're going to put that one off to the side as well. Going to put some things on the ground here. And the controller, and this is where I think the most controversy is going to come in this unboxing. The original NES controller, it feels like I remember from like 1989, which is crazy. I know that kind of shows my age a little bit. I don't care. But I think, again, we say it's the biggest bit of controversy because of the cord. It is incredibly short. Incredibly short. In fact, it's so short that Amazon had a hard time keeping extenders in. This is it. It's not going very far, folks. Again, for comparison, here we have the original NES controller. I'm gonna hang that here. Now watch this. Oh, it hit my foot. It just hit my foot. As kind of an example of how short this thing is, but I'm gonna see if I can pull this up here to give you guys kind of an idea. And I'm still pulling. So if you're planning on playing this thing, you're gonna either need two things. You're either gonna be A, really close to your TV, Or B, you're gonna have to have like an HDMI extender and having this like sitting right next to you. Now there is hope. There are third-party controllers that you can pick up that have longer cables. There's also extenders. Nyko has an extender. Unfortunately, it's sold out pretty much everywhere. So if you want one, you're probably out of luck at least for a few weeks. And the other option again is long HDMI cable. Have this thing sit on the couch with you when you're playing. Not ideal, but I guess I understand it. They're trying to go for mini, and they sure got that one right. We also have pretty generic USB charger. I believe there's also a USB cable in here, and an HDMI cable. It's always nice to see these things come with bundled HDMI cables, so I have to give Nintendo credit there. And then finally, we have our USB micro connection. Nothing too crazy. Again, I'm sure this is what you folks wanted to see, but what we're going to do is we're going to end this with a little bit of a montage of obviously the console on. You can see what it looks like. I'll have some footage of this hooked up to our TV, which is going to be really cool for you guys to see too. And then I think one of the cooler things is I have my Rob the Robot Amiibo, and yes, my original Rob the Robot here. We're going to give you guys some size comparisons here because honestly, it's right about the right size. It's almost to scale. It's not quite, but it's almost there. We are going to be having so much fun with this thing. Hopefully you guys have a chance to pick one up too. I know they're a little bit more difficult to come by right now, but honestly, if you can get one, they are so much fun. They're really cool, and for 60 bucks, you can't go wrong. So until next time, I'm Amiibo Jason, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.